All right. We are back for hour 3 of week 33, the farewell to Otto. Let us continue, please. Scott, go ahead.
Well, we're just going to pick it right back up inside the tavern. Otto is there. Rye is there. Grom's going to show up. Literally, we're talking like 2 minutes later on. Grom will show up just because like the timing of everybody else doing their stuff. So like Rye went straight to the tavern after seeing Grom and kicked the can a little bit further down the road. So why don't we have Rye walk in, order whatever she orders, and Otto come in like right behind her. Like you maybe even saw her from down the road walking into the place. And so you're like, oh, that's the place. Okay. Mm-hmm. So Rye, you first. You walk into the tavern. Do you get anything in particular or sit anywhere in particular?
You're muted again.
Fuck my life. Rye grabs a table that has 4 seats because she's always anticipating company and just orders a drink. Okay. And is enjoying the music.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The music actually is really good. There happens to be this long-haired, blonde-headed elf up on the stage, and he is very, very slowly playing a tune on a bandora, and it is, well, it kind of fits your emotion right now. It's like a combination of sorrow and disappointment, but not like sad or depressing. You know what I mean? Right. It's a really good song for like if there was background music in a TV show at the moment, for her.
More of like too bad kind of thing.
Yeah.
Too bad for me.
Yep. So Otto, you come walking in, you immediately see Rye, and I'm sure intend to go straight over to her, and you see the bartender ready to pour drinks, and you see that gentleman that you met this morning up on stage.
Oh. Huh. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And he's better than you.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna wave to Rye, but kind of like give her a nod in the direction of the stage, as in, hold on, I'm gonna go talk to this guy and approach him.
Why? Rye's like initially waving, and then she like sees you nod, and she just gives you like a thumbs up, and then like sits down again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you go walking up to the stage, and he's in the middle of a performance, but it's not exactly like it's a showstopper. It's nice. It's a good performance. Yeah. Better than you're gonna find at some random tavern down the road, you know, in another town. But it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is this Gemma High or is this Evermeal?
Evermeal.
Okay. So I'm just gonna sit there and just smile and watch as he continues this performance.
Okay. How long?
I'll wait for like a minute. I'm waiting, hopefully, for the song to end. But if it seems as though it's not looking to end anytime soon, I won't wait the entire time.
It does end a little over a minute later, around when Gromman walks in the door.
Okay.
With an angry bird on his shoulder, but we'll get to that in a second. So Gromman and Rye, you guys see each other, and Gromman, you can make your way over. So he finishes the song, and is kind of finishing it, and he reaches over to grab his glass of water, wine, who knows?
Yeah.
And do you say anything?
Say, great performance, Evermeal.
Oh, Otto, that's what it was. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'd like to know what was that one called? I'd like to learn it at the school.
It's actually one of the ones that they're teaching in the classes this season.
Great. I'm looking forward to it. Shall I see more of you there?
And it's almost like he just like realized what you're saying. And he's like, I'm sorry. Are you trying to hint at the fact that you've been accepted into the school?
No, I'm simply sharing my enthusiasm. Just big old warm grin.
Well, if you were, in fact, accepted into the school today, off of the streets.
You dirty, homeless adventurer!
With no formal training whatsoever.
I was beginning to note the hint of condescension in his voice.
I have to say, I commend you. It is not an easy thing. There are many of us that have received formal training from a young age, and we're fortunate enough to have that, yet somehow there are those that are able to surpass our skills. I would like to be bitter at the fact that you were able to get in far younger than myself with far less, I don't want to say work, but formal study than myself. But in fact, I think it would probably behoove me to befriend you, since perhaps I can get a few pointers.
Oh, look, you got a drinking buddy. He just seems so much fun.
Yeah, he's a hoot, isn't he? Your attitude is commendable. I appreciate it.
Could I purchase you a glass of wine, or perhaps they have this type of wine here. It's fermented in such a way to it's rather bubbly.
Well, you know, I've got my friends over here. Would you like to join us?
I would not, he says, looking at who your friends are.
It's just me.
Grauman's in the door now.
Oh, Grauman came back in, right? Yeah, I thought, well, he had his eagle too, so that might have been a little bit more off-putting.
I think, like, as he looks over, the picture is like Grauman showing off the eagle, and then Rye's like laughing so hard and pointing at the eagle.
No, Grauman.
That was just a shitty.
I can't wait to get to the actual RP moment.
Grauman has like a little glass, like a shot glass, and he's trying to like get the bird to drink out of it, and that's what we're laughing over.
Yeah,
the bird's like nipping at your ear.
Gregory is like so pissed off right now.
Rye's like fine with it because he's tiny now, and she can deal with it.
The bird's like, my intelligence score is the same as yours.
That's fucking perfect.
It's more than mine. His intelligence score is more than Grauman's.
I motion over to the table, and this image is presented to my companion, and he instantly refuses. And I look over, I see it, I look back at him, and I say, "Understandable." I look forward to future meetings, and I shake his hand. I say, "But I must go be with my friends now. You can understand, I'm sure."
Of course.
I shake his hand, and I make my way back over to the table.
Okay. And you go over to the table, and you see your friends. And one of the things that you notice is that Grauman has a bird that looks strikingly like Gregory. But, you know, you could carry him in your arms if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm. So I approach.
I'm so sorry, Bear. Sam, did you want to take a step back for Grauman's initial approach and have that moment?
No,
are you fine?
Okay. It's okay.
Okay. Bear, you approach.
Is that Gregory?
Hey, Gregory, look. He's like petting Gregory.
Left of him.
Otto giggles a little. Hey, buddy. Where'd you get so little?
Well, I found a gnome friend, and he gave me potion, and potion. Oh, it's very scary at first. I thought Gregory was dead.
I say as I'm like nudging around at Gregory's face.
It turned him into giant pink bubbles, and now he is small.
That sounds fun. I still just like kind of transfixed with him. Well,
Gregory does not look happy though.
I'm sure he'll get used to it.
Wait, did you check to make sure it wasn't permanent? Rye's now like confused.
Grauman like looks up and he's like, I'm sure Gregory also does at the same time, like looks over at you, and he's like, and then Gregory looks back at Grauman, and Grauman's like, potions can be permanent.
Oh boy. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, it won't matter. Otto sits down at the look. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Listen.
Excuse me. This is from the gentleman on the stage. And he's holding a large, thick glass. Looks like a wine bottle, but bigger than a typical wine bottle with a slightly different looking top to it, cork to it.
Rye whistles and she's like, One of us is getting lucky tonight.
I look over to the stage. Is he still there?
He is.
He's playing now, I imagine.
He actually stops from his performance when you look over and holds up his drink and, like to your honor, and gives a sip and puts it back down and goes right back to it.
That's awesome. Great. Yeah. They signal say, yeah, thank you with a happy nod.
You would like me to open this and pour for
please,
all three of you?
Around for the entire table. Yes, thank you.
Of course. And he's like, you are so lucky to have had this purchased for you. This is an excellent year. And he's kind of like squeak, squeak, squeak. And then the cap kind of flies off and off to the side and then magically stops in the air and then kind of rests itself to the table. And then like you could see steam and smoke and whatnot coming out of the bottle and everything. You could instantly, all three of you were hit with the sweetness that comes from the bottle. And he goes over and he pours into these funnier looking wine glasses than you've seen before. They're rather slender compared to wine glasses you've seen. And instantly as he's pouring, you can see bubbles and foaming and everything. So Gregory goes fucking nuts. At the balls of the champagne.
He's like trying to calm Gregory down. Is it okay, Gregory? It's just drink. You remember I teach you about drink?
So he pours the three, like stops for a second, of course, because but pours the three different champagne flutes full of the champagne and everything, and he places it down and turns it towards you, and he says, again, this is one of the greatest years. It's aged 97 years. I really hope that you enjoy. And glancing at the bottle, what you can see is it actually says Evermeals Miravor, which is Elven for wine.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. And you guys, of course, Otto was what we're just going to say, but you guys, I imagine I'll take your first sip of it. And
cheers.
Despite the fact that the wine was very sweet smelling immediately when it was opened, it's actually rather dry champagne, which I don't know what your character's tastes are, but it is, again, it's just amazing. You can taste like a century's worth of just fruits and forests and happiness in this bottle. The complexity is beyond, human comprehension. By the way, amazing. Luckily, none of you guys are humans.
Rye distinctly observes that this is too posh for her, and she puts it down.
Grommen chugs the whole thing, but leaves just a little bit so that Gregory can try it.
Gregory does not want any of that stuff. As a matter of fact, if you try more than once, he's going to knock the glass out of your hands with his wing.
Okay.
He doesn't want it.
Bubbles. Then Grommen says, okay, you miss out, and Grommen drinks the rest of it.
Gregory, you are, buddy, you gotta try it. It's good. Oh, yeah.
Gregory eventually kind of like flies up to a beam overhead and just stays up there. He's not happy.
Well, I've got some news to talk about.
I like news.
There's some good and some bad.
Oh, I don't like bad news.
21.
Maybe.
They sit there for 5 minutes as Grommen contemplates whether he wants to go to the bad news.
Yeah, he's like pros and conning himself. If I get good first, it's nice, but then
I have to hear bad later. But if I do bad now, it's not so bad later when I hear good.
But then he comes to the fact that he'd rather hear bad news first and then good news second.
Otto agrees. The bad news is not gonna be able to leave here for a long time.
Well, like a week?
Longer. Like
2 weeks?
Like several months, maybe years.
As he sips his wine.
Rice spits the posh wine out onto the table. Several years?
Like a very, very, very long time. Another sip. Very long time.
So we moving here?
Well, the reason is I got into college. in the school here for the lyre. I'm gonna be learning the lyre.
Wait.
The Bardic school.
You
He's expecting
stayed
enthusiasm, but they're
in
just sort of
school
meeting.
for that long to learn how to hit strings?
Well,
Rye's like swapped back to Mead, and she's under her breath. She's like, "I think you should have led with the good." Takes a swig.
I mean, that's awfully reductionist, Grommen, but yes, I'll be learning the lyre. I was told. I don't recall if I let you know. Back in Dead Snows, I was told by a very strange person that I needed to be here, that I needed to be learning the lyre, and that I need to hone my trade and my skills as best I can.
No, you don't tell me this. Why would you not tell me?
Well, I did. I was a bit confused myself.
Rye like elbows Graham. She's like, "What he means to say is congratulations."
Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks. I just kind of take a weird sip of the drink. So yeah, I'll be staying here for a while.
Well, can we stay too?
Well,
that's
yeah.
your good news, right?
Well, I can't stop you. You're free to. I would like it a lot, in fact. If you stayed. That would be great.
So Edge of Morality comes to a close as all the adventurers move into Silvery Moon.
It's so nice here. Why wouldn't everybody want to stay?
What was the old joke? Like chicken farmers or something? Was that what was the old joke? I don't know. Go ahead, Sam.
Rye's like scratching her neck awkwardly, and she's like, "I probably can't stay, but I'll visit."
I figured, yeah.
I think it's cool that you like found what you want to do.
Me too. Thanks.
High five.
How wholesome.
Grumman still like doesn't comprehend everything that's happening, and he's very confused, and he for once is like really quiet.
I mean, Rye's comparing this to a week ago when Otto was like, "I need people to die so I can write a good song," and she's like, "This is a great step up for my friend."
Those influences have changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's funny, we lose Thonk for like a week and suddenly you're not homicidal. Hey!
I wasn't homicidal. I was just passively accepting.
I was this close.
Hoping.
I was this close to turning him evil. I was this close. Like I said in chat. No, I'll tell it after. Good.
So as Grauman's being quiet, I think Ryan, Otto catching on to Rye's enthusiasm for it, he begins to describe the college to Rye and starts to talk, very happily about his performance and what he had done. And he's, including Grauman in the conversation as well, but he's talking so much that I guess he probably doesn't really notice that Grauman's being so quiet and is just sort of taking over the conversation with his excitement about the college.
Rye's reciprocating. She's letting you be excited and gush.
Mm-hmm.
Grauman's just like drinking and drinking.
And I guess the night proceeds on in such a way until we're all sufficiently sloshed, and I've changed my tone from excitement and enthusiasm to I am the greatest bard that's ever lived, and I am going to take over the school. They will sing my name from edge of the land to edge of the land.
Completely drunk. I'll be the dean by next year.
Since you're sufficiently boisterous, when he's finally done with his performances, because he's been playing up there for hours, like you typically have in other places, he'll actually make his way over to you, this elven gentleman, and he'll be like, "Otto, companions, did you enjoy the wine?"
It was delectable. Thank you. This is Rye and Grauman. Thank you so much. And I kind of like nod to them to be like, thank him for the nice.
Right. Does like a flourished bow.
Mm-hmm. This is Evan.
Charmed.
He'll be at the school with me.
That's actually why I've
He'll be my subordinate.
That's actually why I've dared to come over here, Otto. I was actually, and I completely understand that you've been having an evening of celebrations, and so would understand why it would be that you would decline. But I was curious as to whether or not you'd be willing to put on a celebratory show.
Oh, you are speaking my language now, my friend. Let's go on.
I would genuinely appreciate. Again, and I'm not trying to put you in a position here to set you up to look poorly. If you would like, I could come up there and perform with you.
I would love nothing more. I was about to suggest the very thing.
Raya's like already shoving you towards the stage.
Let's go. Let's go. He's like Otto is more enthusiastic about it now.
Grommen wants to go too. Grommen's like, I want to perform too.
Grommen can play.
Please,
Grommen can play.
Please do not.
I like to. Grommen's like kind of drunk, and then he's like, hiccup. To do that thing.
He's
like
great
the
at
drums, but
percussion.
he doesn't know how to say drums, so he just like.
I think your bird may have killed a rat. He says, just kind of like, and then turns and like walks away. Like,
I pat Grommen on the thigh and I said, "We'll play next time." And I just head up.
Okay.
As he's walking to the stage
sad.
with you, and you're like so happy, and he's just so like, he's like, we're gonna have to think of a song that both of us are familiar with, whether or not it was originally designed for the two of us. What are you thinking?
Well, are there any in mind that you had ready for us?
I have several songs that I could think of. However, I'm not familiar with this accents that you have. Where are you from?
Oh, I should know this. It's
Straight to the point.
from Lurian or Lurian?
Lurian.
Lurian.
Yeah.
Lurian.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, that's very far to the east, is it not? It's actually a halfling country.
Oh, yes. Well, my travels have taken me nearly across the entire world.
You have large ports there.
Yes.
Perhaps a shanty?
Yes.
All right, then maybe we can do a shanty then. I know a few, they're more central located in Farron, but I know a few shanties. Perhaps we can do a bit of a colloquial kind of, we will pick a tune, go with it, and then you and I can go back and forth with the lyrics.
I withdraw my lute and I say, after you, my friend.
And meanwhile, that's happening. Grommen is talking to Ryan. He's like hiccuping still, and he's like, he already find new friends.
Raya like elbows Grommen really hard. She's like, I'm sad too, you know, but you're supposed to pretend to be happy for him.
I can't.
And then she turns around and like cheers. She's like, yeah, I know.
Yay!
So, he's like, oh, but there has to be a bit of a challenge for this. Beyond, of course, intoxication. And again, I'm sorry for the disposition. Perhaps we should switch up from our favorite instruments. This is a shanty. You don't want to sound perfect.
I agree. Yeah, that will provide a nice change of pace.
We could either swap instruments, or perhaps we can find something else sitting around the bar.
Let's look around a bit, see what's available.
Certainly. And he does like look up to the stage and almost immediately says, there's a piano. I suppose I'll play the piano.
Do I see anything else?
Looking around, you see that there's like a pair of bongos and what you have and what he has.
Oh, I found a DOS lute. I guess I'll play the DOS.
Well, that's convenient. I don't have anything but my lute. Like,
Would you prefer to use the piano?
Yeah, I think I would.
Would you prefer that I just use the lute then?
Well, sure.
Very well. And we should make a quick fun of this. Please, I suppose you being the piano, I'll let you start the song. And so you go up there, and you're going to. Usually, I want to make you roll at disadvantage because of you being as drunk and everything as you are. But he's specifically trying to set up a situation here where a little bit sloppy is actually a good thing. So why don't you roll for me a performance check for your part of the song? And this does, of course, tie in like lyrics and stuff too. Isn't piano on your character sheet?
It is, yeah. That's why I was like, oh, maybe I should just be on the piano.
Oh, hey. So why don't you do piano and a performance check?
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, piano. Okay, so this is what's funny. You sit down at the piano, it's like, throw out your coattails, and you're like, and you like working the piano, and you have like the perfect, like, you just remember, you're from a port city. Like, that's your background. You're from a port city. Shanty. I got this.
Yeah,
and you just go right into it. And like immediately go into it, he actually follows up afterwards, and he's trying to keep up with the pace and the song that you're doing, and you're playing it so well. It's not that he's bad. It's just that like this is instinct for you. You grew up on shanties, and so he does the best he can for somebody that learned shanties at some point in time in life. So good, but not Otto. Anyways, and then it comes to the lyrical part, and this is where it's kind of a problem. Otto's sitting here. And he's doing back and forth. He knows the first few lines, it's easy for him. They're ones he said 100 times. And the guy kind of goes back and forth, but it's a combination of several things. One, the examples he's giving are from like the Sea of Fallen Stars. It's not an ocean. So it's kind of like weird references that kind of throw you off a little bit. But Otto's brilliant, and he could easily get through that. But then Otto's also a little drunk. Otto's done this more than a few times. He can get through that. But then he's also thinking of all the emotions of the fact he just got excited and he's at this college is kind of distracting him. Otto's a focused person. He just concentrated on a spell and did a great, incredible performance. He can get through that. But then he looks over at Grommen and sees like Grommen genuinely depressed right now. And that's where it's really starting to get to Otto. He's like, I'm having fun right now. And my friends just kind of have to watch me doing this, knowing that this is what I'm going to be. And he looks over at Rye and kind of sees like Rye trying to be the upbeat one for Grommen, but knowing like how Rye really feels because Otto's very close to her. And that's also starting to really weigh on him. And that fucking bird is so distracting. Like, he's just like glaring at Grommen. And so all that together, your performance is very subpar. You miss your cue a few times, say your lyrics off beat. It's just like slur your words even, but whatever there, it's a shanty. But I mean, it's just one of those things where it's probably a good thing it was a shanty. You don't know if you would have had the focus to do a proper song. You have fun with him, but probably not in the whole situation. You two, do you stay and watch the entire performance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And it eventually ends. Afterwards, he's very pleasant. And he's like, I'm glad that you were able to enjoy this. Are you staying to have more drinks with your companions, or are you going to be calling it for the evening? I imagine you're not starting in the college and for at least a few more days.
No, yes, it's I'll head back with them. I think this is an important time to be together.
I don't disagree. I would love to send over another bottle for you.
I would certainly appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course. And with that, he gives you like a very like slight-headed bow. I don't think I described him to you before. He's 6'4", so he's like really tall. He gives you like a slight-headed bow.
Got the crystal eyes, right?
He's basically Sam.
And then he makes his way out.
Okay.
Boy, Sam, are your eyes crystal blue?
Are you an elf?
No, he's just really tall.
They are. I was elf-like once. Now I'm like a fucking wildling from beyond the wall.
That's how you move to America at this point. Fucking fend for yourself.
How tall are you, Sam?
I'm 6'5".
You're 6'5"? Oh shit! I didn't know.
I'm really short, so like Sam's like super tall. And I mean, yeah.
All right. So anyways, you head back to your friends, and shortly afterwards, and the bottle is put in front of you. It's probably around now when it clicks for you that the actual name on the bottle says Evermeal.
Yeah, I picked up on that right away, but Grommen would not have.
Wait, is his winery? Oh shit! What?
Potentially.
Oh.
Damn, son. I'm making some high connections right away here. Okay.
High elf connections.
Oh, nice one.
Ba-dum-bum.
Mathis is not impressed. So
sorry, Comcast is like every 45 minutes it drops like a few hundred frames and then it's okay. And then it drops a few hundred frames and then it's like every 45 minutes to an hour.
See, I have that problem on Fridays for the Friday show that I do, but I figured it's Netflix and chill night, so like that kind of makes sense. But dude, it's a fucking Tuesday. Like,
who's using the internet on a Tuesday? What the
seriously?
hell?
Kids, millennials are killing the internet.
They're using the internet for. No, just kidding.
So yeah, we have the new bottle of wine. I'll make my way back to the table. I immediately offer a big tall glass to Grommen, and I offer him as well, along with it, a big warm smile that attempts to suggest that everything's going to be okay.
Grommen looks at Rye, and then he looks back at Otto, and he's like forcing a smile. And he takes the glass and waits for you to pour it for everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Pour around for the table, and I raise my glass to cheers, and I say, to future adventures.
And new friends.
Then Grommen gets a little sad again.
Right, replies. She's being very, very energetic.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay.
We do it. And yeah, I think that'll wrap up our evening, I guess. Right.
Okay. Do you guys eventually all filter out like one at a time, or how do you guys leave?
Collapsing over myself into
Grommen is like carrying Otto and is like, I'm gonna miss you. I don't really want you to go. And
you can come visit any time. I'll just be right here, and you can come and we'll have fun.
I visit you all the time.
You'll visit all the time. It'll be great. You'll have so much fun here. Look how beautiful it is.
God, we need to find Grommen a ring of teleport to Silvery Moon. And that's all it does.
Oh, God.
Oh, my gosh, that'd be awesome.
Was it the Bracelet of Friends? Is that what it was, right?
Oh.
Maybe.
The Bracelet of Friends, and you can use it to, like, it has so many charges to, like, teleport your friends to, whatever. So,
that just reminds me of the first time I cast Friends on Grommen. That didn't go so well for me.
Oh, yeah, that didn't. Grommen was so mad.
You know what's funny? Oh, my God. You just said that, and it just made me really want to rewatch the first session.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the opening of the characters first in that room with Ashram.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I so want to go back and watch that and all your big intros, like Bear's first moments as a PC. Oh, it could be like a montage. Have some some song music in the background. Yeah,
That's too much work.
So anyway, yeah, right.
It's the song from like Fast 7.
Which one?
Fast and Furious 7.
Yeah, the one at the end.
I'll tell you all
about it when I see you again.
Has I think it's like the second most viewed video ever on YouTube by Wiz Khalifa, I think, right?
It's about someone dying. That's like way more sad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's dead to me now, so no.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez.
Just kidding. So, anyways, you guys go there. You go to your own rooms, everything. Otto's lying in his bed trying to sleep, which is either very easy or very difficult to do when you're drunk, right? So he's lying in his bed trying to sleep, with all this emotion swirling through his head. So it's not easy for him to sleep. When all of a sudden he's kind of like, my lute, and he kind of like sits up and like looks around the room and realizes he fucking forgot his lute back at the bar.
Oh, God. All right. Well,
because he didn't play it. The other guy did.
Right. Well, I gotta go get that.
So you make your way, like stumbling out of your bed, like, bring it together, man. Bring it together. Let's
gotta get this loot.
We can do it. We can do it. And then you kind of like, I suppose, man up and find like the nerve, and you make your way through the doorway, stop the hallway, make your way down the stairs, out the door, and eventually stumbling down the road. Luckily, it's a nicely, perfectly lit, pleasant outside experience. And the fresh air is really clearing your mind somewhat. Otto doesn't vomit. Otto does not vomit.
Why is the street like Inception and just twisting and rolling?
Everything's spinning. I don't like it.
And eventually you make your way back to the tavern because Otto doesn't get lost. He's got the Wanderer background or Outlander background. He knows his way back.
That's right.
Especially when it's a pub. And so you do make your way back into the pub, and it's kind of like as you're going in, they're kind of locking the doors, but they recognize who you are immediately, and you announce that you need to get your loot, and they're like, no problem, and they let you go in. And you look across and you see it up on the stage, and you're like, fuck, why isn't that any closer? You make your way across over there, and you do finally get the loot in your hands, and as soon as you do so, you kind of like slop down onto your ass, like, oh, I just need a moment. Just need to breathe for a minute. And you're doing so, and you're breathing, you're trying to gather yourself when you kind of like something catches your attention when you finally come out of like the swirling dizziness. And you notice that the person that was locking the door, the bartender, or you don't even remember who they were, they're just kind of a blur of a face at the moment, is over at a table, and they're kind of like rapping at the table it looks like a figure like slumped on the table, like, Sir, you're gonna have to leave now. We are in fact closed for the night, and we're not an inn. And he's like grabbing this guy's shoulders and he's shaking it, which is moving too fast for you to notice. But one of the things that you do notice is that this elf's hand is huge compared to the shoulder that he's shaking. Oh, okay, that was scary for a second, but then you realize it's just a small form. It's a small sized person that's over there. And he's shaking this person like, sir, could you please, you're gonna have to leave. And the person picks their head up and kind of like clearly very, very drunk, picks their head up, and you can see it's the face of a forest gnome that's right there. Mathis, can you please describe this forest gnome for me?
Yeah, the forest gnome is young-ish. He's probably, for a gnome, he's like in his early 50s. But for human years, you're looking at like late 20s, early 30s. He's got brown hair, but it's like disheveled as hell. But not disheveled as in like he's been sleeping on it and sticking up. It's like I took a shower. Instead of using a brush, though, I just used my hands and kind of like moved the hair around a little bit to try and semi-organize it. You know, a little bit. It works a little bit. And then he's kind of got a 5 o'clock shadow going on. And he has, much like me, huge bags under his eyes right now. Okay. And he just kind of like looks up at the waiter, and one eye makes eye contact with him and the other one is still like half open. And he kind of like, you see him feeling around onto the table with his hands until he like knocks over the mug that was next to it. There's like nothing in it. And then he like scrambles to pick it up and he's like, I'm finish it first. And he just starts chugging a mug that has nothing in it.
Of course. And the guy like takes out his rag and wipes up the 2 drops to hit the table.
Yeah, more or less. And he starts like looking to chug it and nothing's in it, and then he'll like put it on the table, and then you see him reach into like a pocket in his leg. He pulls out a flask and he starts twisting off like the cap of the flask, and he starts,
I did tell you that I would before you left, and you did pay earlier. He takes the flask from you and then he walks over behind the bar, and you're probably like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And he walks over. Do you say anything?
No, yeah, like he walks by, it's slur, so he's like, how you go, what are you doing?
I promised, and so I have to keep my promise. And so he goes over and he actually grabs a bottle from behind the bar and refills the flask.
Good man, good man.
And then he caps it, and he's like, puts the bottle back, and then he looks at the flask, and you can see that staring into the flask, he's just seeing a reflection of his own life. And he's just kind of like, just really disappointed with the fact that he just filled this flask back up. And he even looks like over at the bucket where he kind of like wrings out his rag and stuff like that the other night and looks at the flask back at the bucket. Otto's able to see this. To this gnome, things are kind of blurry, but he's kind of like retightens the screw back on the flask and walks over and hands it to him. And he's like, and there you are. But we are closed. Could you please make your way out?
It kind of like raised my hand, and you see him like push off the chair, takes a few stumbly steps, almost falls, doesn't fall, takes a step, falls, gets up, and starts like trying to get his way to the door.
And the amount of time that all that happens, seeing how sad drunk he is, Otto, you kind of get this like well of inspiration and like sobering moment, like, I just sniffed a big old cup of coffee. I'm feeling great. And so you easily are able to get back to your feet, and things aren't spinning as much at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make your way back off the stage and out the door. I don't know if you say anything to the bartender as you go, or...
Well, I want to offer to help this poor forest dwarf out the door if I could as well.
God,
Gnome.
I'm a gnome.
Forest gnome, I apologize.
He's smaller.
Yeah.
Gnomes are
He's
half dwarfs
for
anyway.
punting
So.
size.
Yeah.
Okay.
Without even like looking at you, I say something. Doesn't make any sense. It's inaudible, but my hand goes over your shoulder willingly.
Here's a quick question, because gnomes are typically taller than halflings. How tall are the two characters?
Oh god.
He is tall enough to put his arm easily over my shoulder, and I am tall enough.
I think I'm like 3'6", something like that.
How tall is Otto?
Didn't we determine how tall I am before?
I thought you were like 2 foot something, but maybe not.
I'm pretty small.
Halflings are like high 2s, low 3s. Gnomes are 3 to 4.
So I think I was probably like 3 foot, between 3 foot and 3'5" or something like that.
So we'll call it like 3'2", and he's what you say, like 3'6"?
I thought he was like
4
3'6".
inches on you.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Not as big as Grommen though. It's bigger than you, but not as big as Grommen.
Not quite.
Okay, go ahead.
I usher him through the door, and I'm still, fighting off a bit of the spirits myself. So I say, "Been where you are, friend."
He just shakes his head and like starts feeling around for the flask again. Like he doesn't remember where he put it, and he's like fumbling for it before he realizes it's in his other hand. And then you see him kind of like look at it, and then he shakes his head, and then he puts it up to your lips as like a thank you.
I nod appreciatively, and I take a little sip, and
it's just like hard alcohol.
Mm-hmm. It's hard liquor. There's two things wrong with it. One, it's not good stuff. It's definitely cheap stuff. And two, it has this taste to it, like a verp smells. You know what I mean? It's like one of those like.
Mm-hmm. So I take a little bit, kind of,
Oh, it's so gross.
I hand it back.
I take a big gulp. Mm-hmm. And I think I motion like I put it in my pocket. You see my hand like go into my pocket, and then my hand comes out and it's still in my hand. He's borderline incoherent.
I look at that and I giggle a little. Where can I help you to?
Bed.
Where's bed?
Where are we?
At the bar.
The bed near the bar.
I look around. Do I see like any sort of inn or anything nearby?
The closest inn is yours.
So I'll head there.
Right.
Along the way, I kind of study him up a little bit. I don't notice anything like that would maybe give away his whereabouts or anything like that.
You would notice like outside of that he's a forest gnome, which honestly in Faerun I don't know where forest gnomes are typically from. Actually,
the forest.
The forest.
Oh.
What probably strikes you as odd is that forest gnomes are known for being exceedingly gleeful and party-like, and I look like a miserable drunk. My clothing is incredibly plain, where forest gnomes don't necessarily wear plain, boring clothes. I look like I travel a lot. I've got like a couple books dangling from like a belt. One's probably like half open and flapping around. But I don't have a backpack or anything on me, so maybe I have a hotel room. We'll find out.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that you don't have any pack or traveling gear basically to speak of. So I'll say, what brought you into town?
Shakes my head. He shakes his head. Just traveling through.
You seem to be traveling light.
Try not to carry too much. I'm small. I'm a gnome.
Well, I know of the plights of the small folk, friend. Believe me. And we just keep going. What's that sound he made?
Yeah, that was the sound he made.
I imagine because he stops and puts his hands on his legs, and he's just trying to breathe in and get his air again because he feels like he's gonna vomit or something.
It's funny because what's his name? Otto was in a drunk, quickly turning into a hangover. He was at that edge of the drunkenness where it's I just don't want to be awake. I just want to be hungover now to get over it. And this other character seems to already be hungover, trying to find his drunk again. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's about where it's at.
My maternal instincts have kicked in with this new addition here.
And like through the walk, like this character's trying to have a conversation with you, but again, like none of anything is coherent. But every once in a while, something will come through, and like he'll ask you, like, "What's your name?"
Mm-hmm. Otto, what's yours?
Ander.
Ander.
I like your name, Otto.
Thanks.
It has an A.
A's are good.
And A's are the
Ander
first
and Otto.
letter in the alphabet, and we're number 1.
Hell yeah! And I give him a high five.
He high fives you with his flask, and then he just takes a drink. And stumbles.
So some of it spills on your clothes. You're pretty sure it's gonna stain.
Yeah. I look over at it and I just give a little scowl and we keep walking.
You guys eventually make your way to the inn, and you're kind of like helping him trying to find out which room is his. And it turns out he doesn't have a room in the inn. He's just here with you because you brought him here.
You don't, Ander, you don't have a room?
Ander like will slap like the front desk. Do I have a room?
I've never seen you before.
Are you the only one that works here?
No, but I'm typically here at these times.
I don't know if I am.
I don't know if I am.
What's your name?
Ander.
And a surname? Okay, let me look. I'm searching through the book.
Ander.
We do not have a room here set up for you, but I do have a vacancy. If you would
How much?
like. For the vacancy, it's going to be a 3 silver for the night.
I scramble. I'll pull out like some coin. Just kind of like drop it, and like it's an amalgamation of like silver, copper, and I
imagine
like,
it's all copper, and you're like
lint.
counting one at a time.
lint. Yeah. No, I just like I throw it on the counter. I'm like, just like kind of gesture like that. Just like figure it out.
Okay. You gave a bit to you know what? Thank you. It slides the coin, and
Otto notices this but doesn't say anything.
Are you going to bring him to the room?
I'll do my best.
It gives you directions.
Mm-hmm.
You bring him to the room. Open
Well,
the door.
Safe travels to you, Ander.
Ander.
Sorry.
You too. Begins with an A.
I just wait.
Like he like thinking really hard,
Yeah.
and then he uses a spell. He casts a spell. Oh yeah, well maybe if you're drunk
No.
you can't cast a spell.
No, I mean,
You can.
in the old days, I
You
would
can
just give you a
spell when you're drunk.
percentage chance for a spell failure, but
That's
this is
fine.
5e. That doesn't exist.
All right. I cast detect thoughts.
Ander, make a wisdom save.
That's
Hold
awesome.
on. Hold the
I
phone.
want you to
Hold,
cast detect thoughts, and I want the thoughts. Remember my name, you son of a bitch.
That's it. He's like,
hold.
If you don't know it now, you will.
Before you, I'm Googling and double checking.
I have the rules if you want me
A
to
creature
click
that partakes in this feast gains several benefits. The creature is cured of all diseases and poison, immune to poison and being fatigued, and makes all wisdom saving throws with advantage. Its hit point maximum also increases by 2d10 and gains the same number of hit points.
Nice.
These benefits last for 24 hours, Otto. You're still under the benefits of Hero's Feast. You have
Hey.
advantage on the save.
Well, let's do it.
There you go.
Good.
Well, that didn't go well.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it wasn't a save. It wasn't a save. Hold on a second.
Why does it say 1 + 1? That makes no sense.
Oh, that's way better.
There we
Oh yeah,
go.
why does
Okay.
it say 1 + 1?
I have no idea.
We'll worry about it later. It doesn't matter at
Okay.
the moment. Okay, so all right, so you wait, does that make the save?
Oh, that was a 6-9 roll, by the way. Hell yeah.
Oh, nice. My spell save DC is 14, so he beat it by 1.
Oh, he beat it by 1. That's
Oh,
true.
man.
You see,
That's
like,
great.
I openly, without even, like, I'm sitting there trying to remember your name, and then I just openly cast magic, like, dead in front of you. Like, I'm slurring, like, the words that are needed to say. It's like,
Does Otto
casting magic.
recognize the spell he's attempting to cast?
That'd be an Arcana check, I think.
Can I check it?
Yeah?
Was it Detect Thoughts or yeah, it was Detect Thoughts.
It was Detect Thoughts.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Nice.
Yeah, so you know what I'm doing.
Trying to read your dome piece.
I'm just trying to read your thoughts, just get your name.
So I stare him straight in the eye. Are you casting Detect Thoughts on me?
Did it work?
Can you remember my name?
I try to read his brain. Does it work? No. It does not. Good night, friend. And then the door shuts.
A friend.
The door. So you hear 2 bangs. One is the door shutting. The other is hitting
Me
the
falling
floor.
on the ground, yeah.
I'm just gonna tell you, if you try to open the door to assist him, he is asleep on the floor in front of it. You would
Wedged
have to.
against it? I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
It wasn't a thud thud. It was a thud drag thud.
Oh, awesome. And Otto stumbles his way to his room, lies on the bed, and is really, really happy to finally be in his bed. When he realizes he forgot his fucking loot downstairs. he
God
goes to
damn
get
it.
all right. We're going to take our next break, and
final hour's
we'll come back
coming
for
up?
the final hour.
All
Absolutely.
right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't go anywhere.